Gamers are sick and tired of developers putting in the minimum amount of effort and expecting us to swipe our credit cards on mediocre pieces of content, and Overwatch 2 has been controversial since launch, but now the developers are whining about the giant review bomb it's facing, saying players just don't understand them, and it hurts their feelings to know that this is happening to their game. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content that I create, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Follow me on social media so you can see when my content is posted, and of course, if you do really enjoy the videos and live streams I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon or a supporter via YouTube memberships. Now, I just thought this headline was rich. Overwatch 2 devs being review bombed isn't a fun experience. You know what isn't a fun experience? Getting ripped off. There are so many video games that launch every week, every month, every year. And instead of putting our money into trash ones that developers don't care about their audiences or do not listen to fan feedback, we could be purchasing better games. And when it comes to Overwatch, I mean, obviously Overwatch has been massively successful so far. Over the years, people have loved Overwatch, and we were all pretty excited for Overwatch 2, but unfortunately, it just was not the experience that we wanted. The whole point of Overwatch 2 was PvE. It was supposed to have story, it was supposed to have lots of PvE content, and then a few months before release, they decided to announce they're not doing that PvE content for a while. And then, only a couple weeks ago, maybe like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, they straight up said that they've completely canceled the PvE content that they were, banking on, why they even launched Overwatch 2 in the first place. And then they decided, you know what, we're going to give them a little PvE content. And then they launched the brand new Invasion PvE mode, $15 for a not even 2-hour experience. That is an absurd thing to do, and they really thought that players were going to be happy with this. They really thought that we were just going to shut up and consume product, and we didn't. And now they're coming out and they're whining, saying, oh my god, gamers are so mean. I can't believe that the game is being review bombed. I am someone, and like many of you, who are sick and tired of developers putting in the least amount of effort, especially coming from a company like Blizzard. We see it happen time and time again with them, so you can't really be surprised that it's happening with Overwatch. But it says the launch of Overwatch 2 Invasion in Season 6, the game also made its way to Steam, where angry players unleashed a tsunami of negative reviews on Blizzard's hero shooter. Within days, it had become the worst reviewed game of all time on the platform, despite boasting large player numbers and a fairly well-received 6th season. In a new blog post, Aaron Keller explained that he understands why players are upset and promised a slew of new heroes, maps, modes, and features to compensate as the game continues to grow. Clearly, you do not understand why players are upset, or else you would not have released this mediocre update in the first place. And I understand that, right, it's never up to just one singular person, but at the same time, when you have the leader of a project, the lead developer, coming out and saying that it hurts their feelings that this has happened, you clearly do not get what your player base wants. He said many of the reviews on Steam mention the cancellation of the much larger component of PvE that was announced in 2019 as one of the primary reasons for dissatisfaction with the game. I get that, he said, reiterating that the team couldn't deliver on the ambitious project. There was no point to even release Overwatch 2 then. You put out one new hero, you put out 2 new maps. There was no point. It says, though, continuing on, while he believes that canceling this planned PvE mode had been the culprit behind the review bombing, he says the team has a plan to rectify this in the months and years ahead. We can keep adding to and improving Overwatch 2. This is how we move forward. This means more maps, heroes, game modes, missions, stories, events, cool cosmetics and features, an ever-expanding, evolving, and improving game. And I would love to believe them, because I have enjoyed Overwatch in the past, but I don't at this point. You don't just one day wake up and go, we're gonna cancel this PvE mode because we want to. You do it by thinking months in advance, years in advance in some cases, and you only a few months before you announced the cancellation of the PvE mode said to people, I mean, through big events for Overwatch and tweets and interviews, you said you were going to be releasing it. Why would people trust you at this point, especially when this is your response? Being review bombed isn't a fun experience. You know, it isn't a fun experience. Expecting something, a big amount of content, in this case, the large PvE modes, and not getting that. And of course, they are very upset about the review bombing going on. I mean, this review bomb is absolutely massive. The overall reviews for the game are currently sitting at an overwhelmingly negative, with 152,733 reviews. So obviously, we cannot read all of them, but we can read a few. And yes, the majority of people are saying, this sucks. You guys really let us down this time. We expected a lot from you. We've supported your game for years at this point, and you couldn't even give us what we wanted. They did deserve all of these negative reviews. The only reason it exists on Steam is so you can give it a bad review. This response went viral, and I did read this in a previous Overwatch video, but it says Overwatch porn creators work harder than game developers. They have created a good game here, and that's what's so sad about it. You have a good product, you just need more of it. You need that PvE that we were expecting. You need more maps, you need more heroes. You can't expect people to be happy with you when you're releasing one new hero every 1.5 to 2 years, or one new map every 1.5 to 2 years. There are plenty of other games that are constantly pumping out new content, giving people what they want, and instead you're just over here expecting players to stick around, and that's not going to happen. Bring back free loot boxes. People saying no free PvE, that really sucks. Overwatch 1 was way better. People are also saying things like, I have 1,000 hours in Overwatch 1 and 2 combined. Many things killed my interest for playing this game actively. There are a lot of other games on the market, and when you have other titles where developers are listening to their player base, they're putting out new content, they're trying to be better than they previously were, it is hard to look at Overwatch and look at these Blizzard devs and go, do I really want to support you? Because of course the answer 9 times out of 10 is going to be no. You need to keep people interested, you need to be giving us the content we want, and you need to respond in a better way. Don't say something and then only a couple of weeks or months later say, we're going in the complete opposite direction. Don't go online, go into interviews and say, oh, you guys just don't understand how hard it is to make a game. Being review bombed isn't a fun experience, because being ripped off is not a fun experience either, and that is why people are so upset with you guys at this point. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.